Welcome back to my backyard. Big old market. We're good to go. Let me get the showstopper. Can we coexist? No. Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. If this is your first time here, I'm Victoria and this is Renascential, my small bath and body care brand. Let's talk agenda. Today, I need to finish topping off some products because as you can see, I've already made a few things and I'll actually show you guys my shelves in a second. My inventory is in a good place for what feels like the first time this whole year. I'm not chasing to catch up to my inventory, but I'm thinking about topping off a little bit of everything anyway because I have the time. I might as well do it, and it's always good to be ahead, you know. I will take that. So I'm gonna get these scrubs jarred up. As you can see, I've already gone through a little bit of it, but I need to finish jarring that stuff up, getting on the shelves and labeled, all that stuff, and then going to make a few more products. Well, I'm making a few more batches of all of my products, but you guys know me, that's the easy part, is, you know, batch creating. That is on the agenda. And then I'm doing something that I have been so excited to do. So excited to even have the reason to do. As you guys know, I just launched basically 3 new products. I now have all of my products in a 2-ounce size. So the little baby minis that you guys have seen in my past vlogs. I also launched my new bath salts. So those are out. And I have discovery kits that use those 2-ounce products that I have. I have more things to display on my table and it's getting a little cramped. I only have 6 feet to work with and it's getting a little tight. One of my favorite things is visual merchandising, so I can't even sound like this is a huge deal. I love putting my booth together and figuring out how to make things visually beautiful, but I also have been really excited to launch new products just to build my collection, but also so that at markets I can finally expand my booth and create more of a walk-in experience for people. We're doing that today. I went on a bit of a booth shopping spree, and this isn't even like a quarter of what I have now, but I've got a lot of new things to work with and I haven't actually built out the table yet to see what it looks like. So we're gonna do that together. So again, the motivation behind this update is number 1, I have more product to display and I want people to spend more time in the booth, testing things out, opening them up, and give people more room, more, you know, wiggle room if there's more people in the booth, things like that. I hate having a line of people waiting to get in. I just have been excited to set up my booth in a way where there's multiple tables so that it kind of creates like a little mini boutique feel where people can come in, they can find their own little corner to go try things out in, and maybe some shelves down the line. So I've been pumped to make this update, but I haven't had the reason to. I just didn't have products. So now that I have, what is it, like 6 things in my line now? Body creams, body oils, body scrubs, bath salts, perfume oils, discovery kits. Yeah, now that I have 6 things in my line officially, I finally have the reason to expand a bit and it's super exciting. But then the rush timing to get this done right now is because I have a big old market on Sunday and I really want to put my best foot forward and show up in this new location with my best booth yet. This market is a really big deal. I've heard that people sell out there. I have heard basically nothing but good things, and it's kind of made me ramp up that inventory batching I was telling you guys about because I want to make sure that I have enough product out there. So first things first, I'm going to finish jarring up all these scrubs and then getting another batch of products on the heat so that I can start melting down. And during my little work breaks, we are actually going to jump outside and set up my new booth together because I haven't done that yet. I have all the things, but I haven't actually worked out where the things are going yet. So we get to do that together today. Some of you may have already seen it because this was actually a pretty popular video over on the channel, but I have a whole vendor booth setup video where I break down everything that I currently use, where I put it, how I basically worked out my original booth setup. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out here. And I always say it's a good place to start before we update and then things change. So check that out and then come back. You have to come back. All right, let's do the things. most recent vlog, I got a question about how I print my labels. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that with you guys. I actually print them myself. I do them right here in the studio. I have a laser printer, HP, I believe. Yeah, HP laser printer. If you're interested, I'll have it linked down below for you. But I use this, which means I need to get toner instead of ink. So I actually just bought a whole new 4-pack of all the colors that I need so I can get these labels printed. I print them myself, and then I get my labels from onlinelabels.com. A good backup is sheet labels, and I talked about that a bit in this vlog here, where I went over my sustainable packaging options and things like that. So that's where I get my labels from, and in that video I told you guys all about the different sizes that I use because it's a lot of different products and different container sizes, so I use a lot of variation there. So if you're interested, pop over to that video. I've got all the tips over there. I just need to install this new toner and then just let it kind of run for a bit so it can get the old toner out of its system, if that makes sense, because I'm noticing that my labels aren't printing as high quality as they should be, and honestly that's on me. I was not using the best toner because it was cheaper. When you first get this, the new toner, you're supposed to, I guess, like roll it around some, I don't know, ask tech support. It's not me, but you're supposed to kind of roll it around a bit so that it spreads evenly or something like that. So just doing that before I drop these in. Okay, we're good to go. Let me show you guys what was happening that I was concerned about. I was having this issue when I first got this printer. You could rub off or like scratch off with your fingernail, like very lightly, anything on the labels. It was just not sticking to the paper very well. And thanks to tech support, aka my sister, shout out to you, Sid, I noticed that, or she noticed that there was a setting on the actual printer that I hadn't changed yet. So she had me update that, and then we were good to go, and they were perfect. The issue came up again when I switched the toner type that I had gotten. Like I said earlier, I had just gotten a cheaper version of the toner on Amazon, and don't do that. Get it directly from the source, because the same thing happened again, especially with my perfume oil labels. I guess because they're so saturated with the color. It was just back at the point where in my containers that I use to transport everything to markets, you could easily scratch off or rub off anything on the label. As customers were picking up and using the testers, you could see where their fingerprints were because it was rubbing off. That's not gonna work. So I needed to go ahead and just bite the bullet, get the expensive toner. That will last me for about 2 years. So, or maybe a year and a half. Not that big of a deal. It is more expensive than ink for an inkjet printer, but the quality and the speed at which this prints is just unmatched. I love my laser, it's great. But I noticed recently, yesterday, when I tried to print out labels for this batch I'm making now, that this stuff was not sticking. Again, the design wasn't sticking to the label, and it was printing out kind of like a, let me show you. So I hope you can see this okay. You can kind of see that everything was printing out with this hazy kind of background situation going on, and you can see double of everything. This was printed out with this new batch of toner. I threw away the other test I did, but it was almost, this color is supposed to be this vibrant orange, and it was almost a light tan because it was just either running out or it wasn't compatible or it expired. I don't know what the deal was, but it wasn't working for me. This is just on printer paper for now, but the new test is looking perfecto. We are back in motion. I will get the rest of these printed out in a little bit. I had a good amount already printed. I'm just, again, topping up what I didn't have already in my little label binder, which I finally did get organized again. If you got one of my recent vlogs, I was talking about how disorganized the labels were, but good to go again. I'm feeling way better about that. We'll get back to that later when I'm actually ready to start labeling all of this stuff. All right. We are starting with the body creams, which I have 3 batches of. I always split it up. Number one, because my beakers are only so big. And then it's also easier to pour when it's in a smaller beaker. I'm sure if I had like a 5,000 milliliter beaker, it'd be great and fine to pour from. The biggest one I have is 3,000. Maybe it's time to scale up. It might be time to scale up. It's growing. Renascential's growing. But yes, because I have 3,000, 2,000, and 1,000 sized beakers, and then of course I have those little smaller ones that I use for my perfume oil batches. I split up into 3 batches. So for the first one, I have black amber and lavender and pink sugar. The second batch is cashmere and silk, vanilla oak, and white tea and bergamot. And then the third batch is just a bigger batch of dark pomegranate all by itself. Because it's just been selling so well, I know I need to make a bigger batch of that one just on its own. So these are the really big 3,000 milliliter ones that I have. I think I have 3 of these. As you can see, I'm very particular about the way that I get everything set up. I need to visually see it lined up by batch. So this is batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. These bigger ones are for the phase B, like the oil lipid phase. And then the smaller ones in the front of them are for the water phase, phase A. And then of course, combine them after they all melt down. I'm gonna get some sticky notes on these so I don't get them confused. All right, these are ready for the heat. Okay, I have 2 more burners to work with, and I have 3 batches of scrubs and 3 batches of body oils to make. The oils are pretty easy. I could save that for last so that they can just have their multiple hours of heat infusing. So we're gonna do the scrubs. So I'll just start with batch 1 and batch 2, and then once the creams start to come off the heat, then I can replace and put batch 3. So 3 batches of scrubs, and for these I've got batch 1 with black amber and lavender and dark pomegranate. Batch 2 is cashmere and silk and white tea and bergamot. And then batch 3 is pink sugar and vanilla oak. So we're gonna start with 1 and 2. I'll come back to 3. I haven't had a full batch of my body scrubs in stock, or at least on my shelf or anything, in a long time. Oh, good day, good day. It's definitely time to scale up my ingredient purchase amounts because I'm tired of getting to this low point whenever I'm making batches and then I'm terrified of having enough. I think I have just enough. Of course, if I'm scaling up my batch amounts, I need to also scale up my ingredients. It'll be a thing up front, but it's worth it in the back end. So as you see, these are now combined. I'm going to split them up into their batches so they can cool down a bit quicker once they're in smaller containers. Now that those are separated, they'll cool down a lot faster and I can keep moving faster. Next up, our little lonely body scrub batch. I'm gonna go ahead and get that one on the heat next. And the 2 that are already on the heat are both melting down pretty nicely, so I'll be able to bring those in. The second that I get this on the heat, I'll bring those in, separate those out, just like I did these, and then, like I always say, we're rolling. We are really rolling. One of those is actually completely melted down, so I'm gonna get that inside. Perfect. That's too lucky. This is the last time that this will happen. That was kind of scary fast. Sometimes when I move too quickly, like I get into a flow state and then I'm nervous that I skipped an ingredient or I did too much of something or I added like the wrong batch. I don't know. That was so fast. And on to scrub batch number 2, apparently. The batch number 1 just got done melting down. I had to stir it to get the last few bits of cetyl alcohol to melt, so I'm gonna let that sit and hold it for a little bit, but this one is ready to go. So batch 2 was cashmere and silk and white tea and bergamot. So that's what these are. This one will stay as white tea and bergamot, and then I'm separating out cashmere and silk right now. I over poured that slightly, but I think it's fine. I'm making a big old batch of white tea apparently. All right, now let me get the other one off the heat. This one is batch 1. So I've got black amber and lavender and dark pomegranate. So I will leave dark pomegranate in here and black amber and lavender will get separated out. I absolutely love these big measuring glass type of containers. They're so easy to pour from, as you can see. You would think that the lip that's on the beakers would make them just as easy, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the shape of them or how full I make them, I don't know, but it's always a bit harder. All right, that last batch is still melting down, so we'll leave it for now. Ooh, I could go ahead and get the oils on the heat. Yeah, that's next. If you're keeping track, so far I have made 6, not massive, but 6 batches of creams. I have 6 batches of scrubs in the works. I'm making all 3 batches of my body oils, and then my perfume oils, and then the bath salts. That's just about everything on my line. Of course, the discovery kits will come from the rest of these batches because I'm making those 2-ounce sizes as well. This is a full collection batch day. It just got really rainy outside, and I'm not gonna lie, I would love to be on the couch, chilling, watching TV right now. So let's wrap this up because I still have to label all of these things. Let's work on preserving and fragrancing these body creams. Cashmere and silk, done done. Do you see this? It's getting to that point of the day where I'm doing things faster because I'm just ready to be done. And this is why I'm so happy that after today's batch, I will officially have everything in surplus so I can make smaller focused batches for individual scents or just do one product instead of my entire collection of products. I'm very excited. Dark pomegranate, done. Last up is pink sugar, and then we're wrapping it up. Pink sugar, done. And creams, done. All right, that last batch of scrubs is done on the heat. I'm gonna get that in and separate the scents, and on to the next. You can really see the difference in the color here as they're cooling down versus freshly melted. Oh my gosh, there's so much on this table right now. It's kind of stressing me out a little bit, but everything's almost done, so at least I know everything I'm looking at is basically in final form. This batch will be pink sugar and vanilla oak, and I think it is the pink sugar that has more. So I'm gonna leave the pink sugar in here and then separate out vanilla oak. I love these because, like I said, I can tell by the color if they're cool enough to add the rest of the ingredients in, so I don't even use the heat temperature gun. This one is the dark pomegranate. It might still need some time. Yeah, I think so. Oh, it actually doesn't need more time. 37 Celsius, it's like 99 degrees Fahrenheit, and That is actually perfect. I'm going to let this one cool down a bit more before I add in the color. I just like the consistency, and mixing it in is a little bit easier when it's a bit thicker. Let's see. Almost for pink sugar. This one's close too. I'll just let it sit a little bit longer. I'll come right back. Okay, it looks like vanilla oak is ready, pink sugar as well. This is a big batch, so I'm still gonna give this one a bit more time. Alright, I feel like I should just go ahead and do the dark pomegranate because once I add in the sugar, it'll get nice and thick. And I'd rather these be done sooner than later so they can start thickening up overnight. So, if you are a true Ren friend, I hated that. I apologize. If you've been a friend of the channel, I'm sure you know that I didn't add any color to the vanilla oak because this one doesn't get any color. I just add in a different type of sugar so that it kind of has that speckle of both white sugar and then some brown turbinado sugar poking through. These are officially done. These are just ready for sugar. I'm not even going to start with that because I'm sure I don't have enough. So I am going to run to the store and just pick up a bit more sugar. Lucky, that's an easy fix. And then the last two things I need to do are bath salts and perfume oils, which are both equally pretty quick. The bath salts are very hands-on, literally, just like in the bowl. Actually, if you joined my most recent live stream, we studied together, but also I restocked my first big-ish batch of those. So if you missed that, check it out here. We had a lot of fun. And I skipped a week in studying. So if you've been on my lives, thank you so much. I'm sorry that I missed you last week. We'll get back up and running with that next week. I have been in go mode for this market, as you can see. So no time for my course this week, but next week we're back on it because you guys are really helping to keep me accountable. And I like chatting with you guys. We end up having a lot of fun during the lives. People will join and they're also working on something, or maybe they're just chilling and here for the entertainment, but either way, you guys should join the next one. Now, watch me go from this to this. These are done. On long work days like this, and it has been all day, as you guys can see, there's always a point when I start to taper off and I can feel my energy dipping, and I'm actively fighting it right now. Like right now I still feel good, even though it has been a long day. I've gotten so much done. Like wait until I show you my little side table over here where all of the completed batches are. I feel so accomplished right now. And then looking at my shelves with what I already have over here done, imagining all of that over here, I can't wait. I'm so happy. After this, I still need to finish up the oils, do my bath salts, and then I need to jar all of this up and then put labels on everything. I'll be fine. I actually thought that my market was a night market, and I'm so glad I checked because it's not. It is in the morning. So I need to be there, I think at 9 or 9:30, and then we start at 10:30 until 4:30. About a 6-hour day for me. I'm used to that. The festival that I just had was also a 6-hour day. I am determined though to go to bed tonight with everything done because I do not want to wake up earlier in the morning than I already have to finish, I don't know, doing labels or jarring up scrubs, nothing like that, you know? Like I have lowered Della's temperature a bunch, so it is freezing in here right now, but I'm moving around a bunch, so I feel good. And that's helped these thicken up way quicker than they usually do. So yeah, these will get jarred tonight. Everything will get labeled. The wild card, it's the gift bags. I still need to stamp those, and I'm kicking myself for not doing it yesterday, but here we are. I really want to get those done because like I said, as people walk around the market, it's good marketing. People will keep wondering, oh, like what's this Renascential that everyone got something from, and make their way over to my booth. I actually might not have enough room inside this container to add all the sugar that it needs. We are going to put it in a bowl. My hand's already cramping. This is another thing that will be awesome once I'm only making certain batches or certain fragrances every single day. I can start using my KitchenAid mixer so I don't have to do this all by hand. I can't wait to change up my processes. That's a big batch of dark pomegranate scrub. The oils are done. So I'm about to strain these, get them done. And then the last thing that I need to make are the bath salts, which should be pretty easy. On my live, when I did the live stream, I actually said that it feels like I'm playing in a sandbox as like a little kid. So I'm glad I saved that one for last, because the way that it makes the studio smell when I'm done with them is crazy. Oh, it smells so good in here. Let's finish these up and then we're moving into the final stages. I got by an oil splatter and I'm not happy about it because I love these pans. Ugh, immediately going in the wash when I'm done. And that is it for the oils. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick check-in at where we are, show you everything that's done so far, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and jar up the creams, and maybe I'll bottle the oils too, and the perfumes, because I just need to get some of these big containers out of my way and off that table, so that I can have more working space on the metal table for the bath salts. I use some pretty big bowls for those because, you know, like I said, my hands are in there, I'm mixing it. So I just want to make sure I have some more breathing space. Okay, so over on this table, we have the scrubs and the oils. And over here in the back, I have some perfume oils that were already done, some body scrubs that were already done, and body oils, the perfumes we did today, and the body creams. And this wonderful stack of bags that I truly do hope I have energy to do tonight. Hello, welcome back to my backyard. You guys haven't been out here since Della was installed. She's great. We are now going to move into booth setup territory, and we're going to rush because it's been raining for 40 days and 40 nights, and I might have like an hour of wiggle room. So let's get this together. Now, you guys have already seen my original booth setup, so I'm actually going to speed through this and get this out and on the table. And the new setup will include this little baby. It's not little, it's actually 4 feet. But instead of getting another 6-foot table, I decided to go with a 4-foot, just because right now I only have the 2 additional products of the discovery kits and the bath salts. So I didn't want to have sparse spots on the table. Yeah, just for my setup and the way that I like my table to look. I don't like for there to be a lot of open white space. So I only went for a 4-ounce for now until I launch my next new product, which probably won't be until right before fall. So this is a perfect expansion for now, so that there's still good coverage over the whole table, and then I can fully expand and make it my like boutique dream by the end of the year. Hopefully by holiday gifting time, I'll have like my booth of my dreams. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, okay. I thought this table was only this tall, and I mean, obviously that would not have worked. Woo, but there are legs under here. So I know I want to do an L shape kind of situation, but I'm not sure if I want to like pull this out, and I could even sit there in that gap when I'm in the back of it, or if I want to just climb it up. I'm leaning towards pulling it out. I think that makes more sense to me right now. So of course, first new buy, well, after the table, is this new tablecloth. And you guys know I love the fitted ones so that nothing's blowing around in the wind. Nothing sucks more than a windy market day when your stuff is flapping and knocking over your products as well because it's coming up the side. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I got one of these nice fitted ones. You guys have seen me set up this booth a lot of times now if you've seen my market vlogs. So I'm going to kind of fly through this first table, and we can talk about it a little bit later. But first up is this. I love this like what is this? Burlap table runner. My whole visual merchandising vibe is very natural-esque, natural colors and fibers, things like that. And then I love to cover up some white space with these placemats. These are actually placemats. I think they're great for this use. And because I love them so much, I'm keeping the same vibe. I have exactly the same 2 products to use on the new 4-foot table. These things are awesome. They completely break down. Like you just saw, I put them in exactly how they got delivered to me, just back inside this kind of cardboard flat thing. And it's great because I can break down and put the whole thing inside my storage container so I can get it back on the road seamlessly. It's just the easiest thing. Over time, you can see these are a bit wobbly, but because my products are so heavy, I've never had an issue with them. I've been using them for 4 years now. So I think part of it is the fact I've just had them for so long. And the other part is that, you know, taking them apart, breaking them down and putting them away every single market has kind of made their integrity a bit looser. So just something to keep in mind if you have lighter products. I'm not sure if I would recommend these unless you're keeping them set up. Maybe you glue it into place and that's it. But for the purpose that I needed them for, which was easy transport, they have been perfect. And then my products are so heavy that once everything is on them, I've never had one collapse, like not even close. Here's what we're working with. I have 3 of them, corner, corner, and straight. And it literally came packaged like this when I bought it, when it got delivered. And then all I did was reinforce the edge, one of the edges, with some tape so that it could hinge open and closed. And that's it. So I love this. This has worked really perfectly. And it's the perfect size for the display because it's literally how it got delivered. So just beautiful. Perfect. Okay, I hope you guys can see me because I can't see you. The sun is coming out and thank God, because it was really getting dark out here. I thought I was gonna get rained on. I was mentally preparing for that. First update for this table is that I'm actually replacing, if you've seen my previous market vlogs, you've probably seen that right here in the center. I've been scooting these trays over and putting this one in the middle to display the little samplers of my new bath salts. But I decided that those are obviously going to go onto the new table. So the testers will go with it and I'll have another little tester sign on that side. So I have these back here in the middle, which is perfect. And then this will go on the 4-foot table. And then the other update is that right now, of course, you see I have these both kind of self-standing plastic, you know, things for my table signage. I have one for the scent options and one for my price list over on the other side. But I'll be replacing these and making them a little bit prettier with these. So they still have the protective plastic on the front of them, so disregard that. But here's what it looks like, and it comes with a nice wooden base, which of course matches everything else I'm going for. And they stand up on their own, and I think that just looks so much better. We're subbing. Ooh, hello, Mr. Bumblebee. I'm trying to work here. Can we coexist? No. Okay, these will now be in their place right here. Sans protective plastic. I love all the different shades of wood that I have on the table too. Like, I didn't feel the need to make everything match perfectly. I just love how organic. I love it. I also actually designed new signage for these, so I just need to get those printed out and put inside here. And then I decided, so for this one, I of course want signage on the other table too, so I removed this portion on the bottom that has my payment information, and instead I'm going to be putting that in one of these smaller kind of self-standing ones that are like this. We'll replace it with the nice wooden base later, but for now this is easy. And I designed a different 5x7 signage flyer for this one, so that'll also be, I'm not sure yet where I'm gonna put it, which table, but I'll figure that out. All right, and with that, I think the main table is done and I'm ready to move on to planning out the 4-foot, which I have a new showstopper for this table. Just wait, it's coming. Oh, it's so cute, so beautiful. Okay, similar to the other table, I have another stand, and this one is a straight one instead of one of the corners. I'm a very visual person, so I'm not good at just like mentally planning for things. I like to have something tangible to look at and work with. So I think I'm gonna just set this up, and then once I know where my showstopper is going, then I'll be able to move this around. Okay, so I could You know what? Nope. I just figured out. This is going to go here. Let me get the showstopper. Okay, now it's a bit big, so nobody panic. I'm gonna figure out how we're gonna make this work, because it's just too beautiful not to use. Ta-da! I have wanted one of these for so long, but I've really been just dragging my feet on investing in certain things, and no more. We're going big. So now the question becomes, do I need both of these stands? Okay, Google is telling me that I have like 20 minutes until it starts to rain again, so we're gonna hurry this up. I am thinking for this, I'd like to use it for the discovery kits, or maybe a bit of both. Do I need that stand? Because I don't use it. There are tiny spiders floating in the sky. I'm not saying that because I'm afraid. They're literally floating in the sky and then landing on my stuff. Do you know the anxiety that's just running through my body right now? Maybe that's what I'll do. The wind, it's coming. So it's dark clouds. Okay. But these will be kind of pulled out here. Body cream discovery kit, body oil, body scrub, and then I'll put bath salts here. I think I did it. I mean, simpler than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so, excuse these. I just put them down so that they wouldn't start to bother me with all the wind. But this is what we're looking at. And of course, picture it with all of my products set up. But here's number 1, number 2. I think this just really will draw in people from either direction. It kind of just creates this moment where if you're walking from this way toward the booth, you'll see the back of it and see how pretty that looks and want to see what's on the front. And of course, if you're coming up to the booth from this way, you'll see it and you'll want to know what these products are. I am really happy right now. We have established on this channel that I am extra. So if I had more time and less of a, rain threat to work with, I would actually set up on my products so that I could really see what this looks like. Something tells me that I can just do a little bit of photoshopping. That's unnecessary. You don't have to do all that. This is fine. So this is the new setup. I'm obsessed. I have one more new thing that I'm going to be adding to my actual booth, but I don't feel like setting that up out here right now. So you'll have to stay tuned and see the booth in action to see this last thing I'm going to be adding. It's a vibe. So check back when I'm actually at this market and you'll see how all of this comes into play. Let's finish up before I'm in some trouble. And then I'm going to finish up these products and get everything labeled and the deal. What's next is next. I kid you not, the second that I turned off the camera, the sky opened up and it started pouring. I just had to start throwing things inside to get out of the rain. Probably would have been a good idea to set up that tent after all. I really wish I would have recorded that. It would have been fun for you guys. When I got back inside and dried off, I realized there were actually a few things I forgot to bring outside with me to add to the table, and I knew it. It looked more sparse than I thought it would. It still looked great, but there were a few little design details that I forgot to bring outside. So if you want to see the booth in its final form, because that was not it, then stay tuned for the next video because I'm bringing you guys with me to this massive market. I can't wait for this, guys. Like, I am over preparing because I'd rather have too much product than not enough. And I'm unveiling the new booth. I have this beautiful new stand. I just have been planning for this particular market for months now. I've known for about 2 months that I'm doing this one, and yeah, I'm pumped. I'm actually, like, I haven't been this excited about a specific market in a while. It's usually not until the holiday time that I get pumped for a market. I am pumped for this market. I can't wait. So I hope you guys liked seeing the booth in its almost new form, but stay tuned for the next video so you can really see what it's like and how my customers react to it. Okay, I have a few more little planning things to do. Get the products, jarred up. I need to stamp my bag because I refuse to have unstamped bags at this market. I want to make sure that customers who are walking around after they purchased are, catching the eye of other people who are walking around. Bags are definitely getting stamped. And then I think I'm calling it. I think that's it. I know for a fact this video must be getting long, so I'm going to go ahead and handle jarring all of these things off camera, and then I'll be back when it's time to do the salts and then label. Okay, so it has been a minute, and by a minute I mean maybe an hour or two. I lost track. I told myself I wouldn't look anymore because it was stressing me out. Looking at my table over here with all of these products made, and then this inventory over here too, this has been so worth it. I wish I would have had time to do it earlier in the week, but it's done now, and I am so happy. I'm so proud of myself. Don't get me started. All right, I need to move into the bath salts because I still need to finish labeling all of that. And you guys, if you see my other vlogs, you know how I feel about labeling. If I have a podcast or a show to watch in the background, I'm fine. I will get that done next, but we need to make these bath salts so that I can get those jarred and then label everything all at once. Let's do that so that I can go to bed. These bowl sizes are very misleading. I'm not making this massive batch of bath salt. I like to have a big bowl so I can really get my hands in there and work with it without it spilling out. Plus, pretty sure these are the only 3 bowls, containers, period, that I still have that are clean because everything else is in the kitchen. When I tell you the amount of washing and sanitizing that I'm going to need to do is a little crazy, but again, worth it. It's worth it. This is the part where I'm incorporating the fragrance into each one. Kid in a sandbox. Dreams start to come true. Oh my gosh, it's happening. The studio's starting to smell heavenly. You can always tell when I make a fresh batch of products because once you walk out here, you can just smell like a hint of fragrance in whatever product I made. These, for some reason, I don't know if it's this process and how I incorporate them in, I don't know, but the whole room smells like honey and jasmine right now. And I love it. Once the fragrance is all mixed in, this is kind of what it looks like in the bowl. Then I add in all the salts and get those mixed in. The last thing that these need is the salt, and I have a 4 salt mixture for these. So far, this one has been the best-selling scent for these, and this is the Midnight Jasmine. I think it's because it's so energizing, and the scent really packs a punch. So the second that you add it to your water, I mean, the second you open the jar, you start to smell it. People just really like that. All right, that is it for measuring. All I have to do is mix these up, and then they're also ready to get jarred. Now you can see why I saved it for last. It smells great in here, so that's a great finale. It's fun, and it also just took me, I should have timed myself. I think that took me 10 minutes from setup to now mixing. Final step. As I said, not too many big batches of these. I made 2 8 ounces of the jasmine, 1 8 ounce calendula, 1 8 ounce lavender, and then also a little bit to top off this last one that I made because there's about 2 ounces missing. Just a miscalculation on my part last time I made these. And as you can see, I don't have an official funnel yet, so I'm literally using like a piece of cardstock paper that I just rolled up and taped so it wouldn't, you know, come apart, and I'll get an actual funnel later. This is so deceiving because right now it looks like the whole thing's full, right? This clearly looks like there's enough product. Oh, I actually made 2 8 ounce jars of this, so I need to get one more jar out and then the extra 2 ounces. I have the same problem that I just had with that lavender that I topped off. I am just short on this jasmine. I bet you it's still 8 ounces. I just like to fill it to the top, but when I actually measure these on my scale, oh, I hate that sound. It actually does end up working out to be 8 ounces when it's lower. Oh my gosh. I'm really big on bang for your buck, and also if I have it, might as well fill it to the top, you know? So I hate that this is technically not filled all the way, but I bet you it is 8 ounces. This one is over by about like 0.3. This one is almost perfect. So I'm taking from this one, but not too much to not be filled to the top. Those bags aren't getting done tonight. There is no way. I made the mistake of checking the time. Those will get done tomorrow at my booth when I'm actually at the market. Once I'm done setting up, I'll do those as I'm sitting there. I'm so happy that the only thing I have left is labeling, because from standing all day, I can finally feel my back is ready to be left alone. I just need to label these up and then go to bed. Oh my gosh, guys, it is so late. It is, well, at this point, I should be saying it's so early. Actually nuts. Never again on this channel, mark my words, never again will you see me make my entire product line in one day. That's absurd. I am so happy I did it, because now I'm in a really great place to not have to do it again. This market isn't exactly close to me. I was just doing the math and trying to figure out when I need to wake up and what time I need to get there. And let's just say, I hope I fall right asleep when I get upstairs. I don't have a lot of wiggle room to work with. I am officially very seriously looking into getting some help in the studio, because as you can see, there are just a lot of little things that pile up. There's just too many things to do. The virtual things I can do, totally fine. But labeling, stamping bags, because it's not getting done tonight. And again, you guys know, I said it before, I like labeling. I love putting on labels. But every single time I look up and look at everything that's still left, I feel like I'm about to get full body hives. If any of you have outsourced and gotten some additional hands in person, preferably, I'm good on the virtual front, so I don't need a virtual assistant. If any of you have hired help, even if it's a family member or someone that you have looped in to help you a bit, I would love to know your thoughts on hiring, training, trusting, and handing over all the stuff. But all that being said, I feel like I'm running on adrenaline right now. My body is tired. Like, my back is physically sore from standing and moving around. I forgot that I set up my table today. That was a today thing. I really feel like I've lived 9 lives today. Okay, the only way that I'm going to get through this is by throwing on a show or something and putting it up on my monitor here. We'll talk to you guys when this is all done. Please enjoy this time lapse. I did it. There are birds chirping outside. So I just pulled an all-nighter. Haven't done that since junior year of college. I need to get in bed ASAP. At this point, I'm getting about 2 hours before I need to get on the road. Very quickly, don't do what I just did. While I am so proud of all of this product and all of this work I got done today, I'm teetering on the line of, was it worth it? Was it worth it? In the long run, I know that, you know, for the next 2 weeks, I don't need to make products. That's awesome. Unless today's market is about to be an absolute blowout. And it's so crazy that now I'm awake and I'm saying today's market. Don't do what I just did. Please get your rest. Don't push yourself to the brink of an all-nighter. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. I am going to wrap up this vlog here because I need to get, I was about to say shut eye. I need to get some blink eye and then get on the road, and you guys are coming with me. So I will see you literally in like a couple hours. I'm gonna go ahead and get all this packed up and then my inventory updated so I actually know the stock amounts that I have. That is it. I'm bringing about 6 of everything with me, and then I'm gonna package up some discovery kits as well. That's all I got. I'm kind of at a loss. If you stayed up with me, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the vlog. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys very soon. This is where this vlog is ending, but like I said, we're picking right back up at this big market, and guys, so much work has gone into this market. So much work. So let's hope the ROI is high. I need to get that investment back. The mental investment the most. For now, that's all I got. So please like, comment, share with a friend, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Make sure you know when my new videos are coming out. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday for another vlog. Bye.